Alarms blare around the jewelry store. The three robbers, decked out in balaclavas and wielding handguns, start to panic. One raises his gun and fires off a shot, hoping to bring down the emotional temperature in the store. But it does something much worse. It hits the cashier in the chest. He clutches his bleeding heart and collapses against one of the display cases. It's gone too far. They need to bail before it gets any uglier. Little do they know, ugliness is on its way towards them. One of them opens fire and blows out the glass door for a quick escape. They can already hear the sirens getting closer, but maybe if they get to the getaway car in time, they can make a clean break. But before they can reach the car, a strawberry hits the leader of the three robbers in the face. He pauses for a moment, baffled, and then turns to see a stern, solemn figure standing 10 feet away from them, decked out in a gray suit and leveling the ultimate 1970s hand cannon, the .44 Magnum. It is the one and only Dirty Harry Callahan, the cowboy cop who asks no questions and takes no prisoners. Smoke is rising from the gun's barrel, as though a shot has just been fired. But did a strawberry come out of that gun? There's no time to think. The three scramble in different directions, but Harry's aim is true. He turns the Magnum to robber number one and fires. A burst of electricity, like a crack of lightning, comes blasting out of the barrel of the weapon and zaps him so hard that for a brief moment you can see his glowing skeleton. He falls to the ground, stunned, with smoke coming out of him. Harry calmly thinks, "One down, 2 to go." Robber number 2 is scrambling to the getaway vehicle, hoping that perhaps he can still salvage the escape attempt. But Harry aims on him, and it's all over. He squeezes the trigger of his Magnum, and out of the barrel of the gun comes a concentrated jet of boiling hot coffee, squirting right into the robber's face. He screams in pain and falls to the floor, clutching his scalding face. Only one robber remains running for his life when Harry aims the gun and fires. An angry cat flies out of the barrel and lands on robber number 1, disabling him in a flurry of screeching and scratching. The robber falls to the ground and Harry approaches, aiming the Magnum down at him. He growls his iconic line, "I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement I kind of lost track myself. But being as this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world and would blow your head clean off, you gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?" He squeezes the trigger, and an entire grand piano fires out, crushing the robber. To any movie buffs out there, you've probably already gathered that this scene does not take place in the 1971 Clint Eastwood neo-noir Dirty Harry. But it could have, if Harry's iconic .44 Magnum was loaded with SCP-8098, a collection of anomalous bullets that caused the SCP Foundation far much more trouble than you ever would have imagined. It all started in an abandoned farmstead in Kansas, raided by the Foundation after several reports of strange, anomalous activity. They discovered a number of anomalies inside the main barn, in addition to a large stockpile of weapons. Most pertinent among them is a pair of .44 Magnum revolvers, and a small cardboard box full of .44 Magnum rounds labeled with the brand Morphic Munitions, along with slogans like, "Try to collect them all," and "So many different flavors to collect." This immediately raised flags just on the level of common sense. Who's flavoring bullets? This warranted further explanation, and along with the rest of the anomalous objects, the Morphic Munitions were taken back to Site 18 for further study, where they were designated SCP-8098. Little did the researchers know, things were about to get incredibly strange, even by the standards of the SCP Foundation. The research on SCP-8098 was conducted primarily by Dr. Velez and Dr. Eliza, and they soon learned 2 important facts: that each of the different flavored bullets had a different anomalous effect when fired, and that these anomalous effects only took place when fired out of a .44 Magnum. But let's not beat around the bush here, folks. We know why you're here. You want to know all about the freaky flavors and their different anomalous effects. Don't worry, we'll tell you exactly what Dr. Velez and Dr. Eliza found in a freaky flavor lightning round. In the first test, they tried the strawberry-flavored bullet. As you probably predicted, it caused a single non-anomalous strawberry to fire out of the gun's barrel, splattering against the wall. Harmless, but delicious. In the second test, they tried the coffee-flavored bullet. This time it fired out a concentrated jet of hot coffee that maintained water pressure for 25 seconds before running out of steam, enough to fill about 2.5 coffee mugs. This coffee also proved to be non-anomalous. In the third test, they loaded the electricity-flavored bullet and fired it at a small metal spoon to test its conductive properties. This didn't go quite as smoothly as the researchers hoped, as the electricity zapped around the room and interfered with electronic equipment, leading to the test being suspended. Afterwards, when the round was removed from the cylinder, it was notably smaller than when it was first loaded. The fourth test was even stranger. The bullet entered into the Magnum was claimed to be cat-flavored, and it lived up to expectations, firing a 3-year-old American short-hair cat that proved to be completely non-anomalous in and of itself. For the cat lovers in our audience, don't worry. The cat was safely rehomed after the test. In the fifth test, the bullet was labeled entropy. When the gun was fired, nothing happened, but when the researchers checked the cylinder, the bullet was gone. In the sixth test, the bullet was flavored anger. It was also the first time a test was conducted on a D-class subject, who upon having the bullet fired at him was physically unharmed, but entered a prolonged state of rage, shouting profanities and refusing to comply with any of the researchers' commands for an hour. The seventh test involved a recycling-flavored bullet fired at a plastic water bottle. This resulted in both the transmutation of the bottle and the table. The bottle recycled itself into a small Tupperware container, and the table became 2 large blocks, one of solid plastic and the other of solid metal. This brings us to test number 8, the fascinating teleportation-flavored bullet. This one fired a ball of purple light that, upon making contact with the wall, teleported the firer, along with all of their clothes and personal effects, to the area where the ball of light had come into contact with. These previously inconsequential tests started to take a turn for the disastrous during test number 9, when the black hole-flavored Magnum round was tested. This would also, incidentally, be the only time the black hole-flavored ammo was tested, as the data for this test was expunged and all black hole-flavored rounds were moved to another site. This left only a collection of rounds ominously marked mystery flavor, which had a whole host of strange and often freaky effects. These include firing a blow-pop brand lollipop that exploded and shattered against the wall when fired, but seemed otherwise non-anomalous, a grand piano that somehow fired out of the barrel before smashing against the ground, causing substantial damage, a small flame like that of a lighter which fired out of the barrel of the Magnum and remained in operation for 28 seconds before going out, and even a copy of SCP-8081, an 82-page hardback book entitled Making Your Dreams Your Reality: Lucidity for Beginners. Interestingly, after the most recent test, a copy of SCP-2081 was reported missing from containment. This suggested a vital piece of information. SCP-8098 ammo doesn't create any of the items it fires, it just takes them from other places around the world. While this seemed like just an incidental fact at first, it would soon have dire consequences for the researchers at Site-18. It started with a researcher who misplaced a key in the containment locker near all the SCP-8098 instances. When he went searching for the key, he instead found one of the anomalous bullets labeled key-flavored. This was only the start of a concerning trend. Next, when Dr. Enya found that her favorite coffee mug was missing, she found a coffee mug-flavored bullet in the Site-18 break room. When a sink went missing in a Site-18 bathroom, sure enough, they found a sink-flavored bullet. In a D-Class's temporary holding cell, they found a human-flavored bullet, and the D-Class in question was missing, save for his abandoned clothes. A mystery bullet even appeared in the holding cell of SCP-2182, an anomalous staff that would absolutely get us demonetized if we tried to describe it. This new apparent secondary anomalous quality to SCP-8098 sparked serious concern in the lead researchers on the case. A letter sent from Dr. Eliza to Dr. Velez read, "I'm getting increasingly concerned with the recent developments regarding SCP-8098. With what we have observed, it appears that random objects and people within Site-18 are being turned into new SCP-8098 instances, with no currently discovered means to revert to their previous states. I know that you and many others are already partially aware of this, but I'm surprised at the lack of attention that this has been receiving. For all we know, a researcher or an important anomaly within the facility could be next. I theorize that the cause of these effects may be due to the high concentration of SCP-8098 within its dedicated locker room in Site-18. The reason I believe this is due to the fact that after the first new instance of SCP-8098 was discovered in that locker, more and more have been appearing throughout the facility. Oh, and also, its object class should probably be changed from safe to Euclid. It was undeniable that Dr. Eliza had a point. The object class was changed, and the ammo instances were separated across the facility to test whether Eliza's theory held water. However, from that point, more items around Site-18 began getting transmuted into SCP-8098 bullets, proving Eliza's separation theory to be correct. Things got even more peculiar when a confetti-flavored bullet appeared in a Site-18 locker room, despite there being no confetti previously in that room. Weirder still, there was a mysterious note packaged with the bullet. It read, "Yay, yay, yay! Congratulations! You are the first person to collect 30 different flavors of Morphic Munitions. To celebrate this wondrous occasion, here is a unique, rare, one-of-a-kind flavor of Morphic Munitions for you to sink your teeth into. Or to put into a gun, I guess. Which is okay. We don't care how you use your Morphic Munitions. The point is, you're the first one to collect 30 unique Morphic Munitions flavors, and we wanted to celebrate that. It wasn't easy to make this one, I'll tell you that. There was no confetti for miles around here, but that's okay. You deserve it, you amazing little collector, you. Anywho, keep your eye out for new waves of Morphic Munitions in your area. In response to this, the researchers tried Plan B to see if it would elicit a different response, splitting up the anomalous bullets and sending them to different facilities. Not long after this, a bullet labeled Confusion Flavor appeared in Site-18 with another attached note. This one read, "Hey, hey, it's me again. I noticed that it seems you gave a lot of your Morphic Munitions away. Was this intentional by any chance? Regardless, you are, well, you are both the first ones to collect 30 unique Morphic Munitions flavors, so, yeah. I was just under the impression that you guys like collecting Morphic Munitions, so I kept making more for you all. Now I'm sorta starting to doubt that. Oh, actually, you know what? I know why you did all that. You wanted to start a new, fresh collection of Morphic Munitions. Yeah! Oh, you guys are so very, very kind. I'll be sure to increase the amount of Morphic Munitions you all are able to find for being such nice collectors. Yeah. Oh yes, be sure to collect all these new, awesome, unique Morphic Munitions flavors. Clearly more drastic measures were needed. Authorization was given to start destroying new instances of anomalous bullets, starting with the strawberry bullet. When the Foundation attempted to melt it down in a furnace, it exploded, releasing 10,000 strawberries in all directions and causing minor injuries to surrounding personnel. Not long after this, a new note was discovered. It read, "Ah! Yes, please do not destroy any of the bullets inside of any Morphic Munitions containers. Bad effects. Bad. You can use them in a gun, fine, whatever, but do not break open any of the bullets. Please! No! Ah! Please!" The rest of the page beyond this point is filled with the word "bad" repeated over and over. Dr. Eliza and Dr. Velez racked their brains on how to deal with this increasingly bizarre set of circumstances, as their attempts to communicate with the mysterious entity leaving the notes all fell flat. During the middle of one of the more heated arguments, one more note appeared behind them. It read, Okay, fine, I get it. I get the hint. You guys don't want any more Morphic Munitions, is that right? I'm sorry, I haven't been able to do this in so long. It felt good to see someone take interest in what I was making again. But I suppose I just can't force someone to like what I create. I'm sorry for turning all those things into Morphic Munitions. If I could turn them back, I would, but I don't know how. I hope that you can accept my apology. I didn't want it to get so out of hand, but it seems like it has. I'll be around still, but I promise to no longer hurt anyone. I promise. If I do hurt anyone else in the future, then I'll feel very bad about it. I promise. But yeah, I'm sorry about everything that's happened. I hope you all don't hate me, but I understand if you do. Anyways, goodbye. There was never another Morphic Munition bullet discovered again after that. And personally, we think the world is a darker place for their absence. Now go check out SCP-3108 the Nerfing Gun, or top secret SCP Insane Weapons for more.